Hey guys, Prangell Gaming here. Welcome back to the Talk the Wall podcast. This is the 20th installment, and before we get right into your responses and questions you may have had, if you haven't seen any of the other 19 installments, then why not go check them out? There's going to be a link in the description of this video for the last Talk the Wall podcast, which involves Harris talking about the FA Cup success and also other stuff that involve, obviously, Millwall Football Club. Or if you want to access the playlist, then why not click the I button? There is going to be a link there so you can go catch up with everything that you have missed. But as always, if you have any questions or opinions, do feel free to put them in the comments section of this video, because I do want a Millwall voice throughout. And before we get into this video, do leave your score predictions for the Bolton Wanderers game in the comments section. That's actually going to be on my birthday. I'm hoping for a present by us getting our revenge on Bolton and winning that game. And while you're down there, do feel free to put your opinions of what you felt went right and wrong in that match. And do bear in mind, I recorded this on Monday, so if there is any new news stories, I will cover them next week, and obviously I'll also cover anything that becomes outdated. So Millwall actually played 2 games this week, and we'll start with your predictions for the first game of those 2. That is against Luton Town, and the closest predictor was Joe Holloway with his ambitious 4-0 win to Millwall. To be fair, he wasn't far off. And someone that was also just as close was Billy Gibson. He said that we'd win 2-0 again. He wasn't so far off himself. The 2 other predictors both predicted us to end 1-1, and those predictors were Red Army TV and Harry CD. Harry CD also said that he reckons the younger players will get the play against Luton Town, which obviously they did end up getting in the end. No one could have predicted the scoreline for Bristol Rovers, though. I'm not going to lie, I thought the game would finish 3-1 to Millwall, and I was pretty close, but yet again, so far off. Millwall did keep a clean sheet, and a couple of you agreed with me on the actual scoreline that was going to end, as Joe Holloway and Lucas United said the same scoreline as me. Lucas said that he thought Gregory would get 2 goals, one in the 23rd minute and the other in the 79th minute. Well, Gregory did get a goal, but obviously didn't get the other one, as you expected there. But well done for getting Gregory's at least 1 goal right there. And he did also say that Harry Smith would get a goal in the 50th minute. It was a bit too early, as Harry Smith did get it in the 88th minute. But again, he got the scorer right with Harry Smith, and that goal did help us win the game. He also added that he thinks we need to sign a new solid left midfielder and a centre midfielder to play with Ben Thompson. So I want to pose the question to you guys. What do you reckon in terms of the players that we need to be signing in those positions? Because to be honest, I think we've got a pretty strong team. So let me know your suggestions in the comments section. Harry CD saw the clean sheet coming though, and he was only 1 goal short of the actual scoreline, as he said that we would win 3-0. Unlucky there. So close, but yet so far. So because he got the clean sheet, I say that he's more correct than anyone else here. The final 2 predictors, the first one here was Billy Gibson, and he said we'd actually lose 2-1 to Bristol Rovers. Not a lot of confidence in us there. They are actually 5th in the league table last time I checked, so that's probably a pretty good guesstimate if you don't mind me saying. And the other was Red Army TV, who said it would end up in a 0-0 boring snore draw. I hate 0-0s. You guys have got to know that by now. But obviously that could have happened, but I would have been really frustrated if I had spent my Saturday watching that game, especially after I went to vlog it and then the lighting settings on my camera just couldn't deal with the floodlights. That was really frustrating for me, to be honest. And every week you guys do leave your comments, and so the first one comes from Joe Holloway saying, can we sing jingle bells, jingle all the way? Oh, what fun it is to see Charlton lose away. To be honest, I would really love if you guys could sing that. I don't mind. To be honest, it is up to you. Great song though, by the way. I would definitely love hearing that song when we play Charlton. It'll be pretty interesting. I still want to know what's going to happen. Do you guys think we're going to smash Charlton like we sometimes do? Or do you think it's going to be pretty cagey and it won't be as we expect? Joe Holloway was also involved in a conversation with Billy Gibson, so what I'll say is I will read it out to you guys and you can tell me what you think in the comments section. So Billy said, with Morrison out now, I think that Harris should give Harry Smith a chance. I know assistant manager from Folkestone and he said he is fairly fast and good with the ball at his feet. Joe replied with, but we don't play by the feet and we just want to smash it up the pitch. And Billy said, yeah, but without Morrison, we haven't got anyone who can play to this role. Personally, I think we should change tactic for when Morrison is out. Joe then said, we have Smith, and Billy said, the assistant of Folkestone told me he isn't a very good target man despite being 6'7". So, what do you guys make of that? Do you think that Smith adds a new dynamic to the team, or does he fit into the current system that we actually play? Let me know in the comments. Obviously, 6'7", he did pretty well against Bristol Rovers. Maybe it's beginner's luck, but we'll have to see how that goes. And Billy also said, well, my Millwall versus Bristol Rovers prediction was very, very wrong. But I'm going to be saying here, to be fair to you, it is very hard to have predicted that scoreline. I was close, but again, just didn't get it right. I don't think there was many people that could have got that right, even thinking in the right mindset. Joe Holloway then started to talk more about Harry Smith by responding to a recent comment of a couple weeks back about Smith that he made. So he said, correct me if I'm wrong, but Smith has scored 2 on his debut. Maybe he's not so Maya Hoffa after all. And all I can say to that one is, well, only time will tell. We really have to see how he's going to do. He has started pretty well, but obviously that may not continue. I hope it does for his sake, because I've been saying for weeks I wanted Harry Smith to play, and long behold, he's scoring goals, but we just have to see how that one progresses. And the final person to comment was Harry CD, and he said 2 things. Now, the first one was, in my opinion, we should still sign one loan player, even if it's a 2-month loan, as if our players get into a run of bad form or our youth team players struggle to perform in the first team, it'd be nice to have a fresh player to bring into the side. But I do agree that we should put our youth ahead of our loaned players. I think maybe, to be honest, I think to this, it's going to be one of those that if we have one, then that might actually be okay. But I don't really know where they're going to play. I'm going to be honest, that's my real struggle. We have so many players in so many areas with experience, some that it's not that's doing pretty well. It's really hard to say where someone will fit in. And the second one is him saying about his Millwall kit. And he said, the Millwall kit is fine and he's washed it a fair few times since buying it the day it was released. So maybe from what I'm hearing, some are good, some aren't so good. That's kind of the impression I'm getting here. So do feel free to let me know. As I said, I actually want to know. I've actually gone out and got the kit now, so I'll be wearing that soon. I'll see how it goes. I can let you know from a personal opinion instead of just having speculation around here. So let's have a look at some of this week's loanees, as it is the time where we look in the loan watch. And Jamie Philpott didn't feature in Bromley's 1-0 win over Boreham Wood. I really don't know what happened there. I know he's still out on loan. He's not injured as far as I know, so that's quite odd that they left him out the team, but hey ho, that just didn't happen. Paris Cowan-Hall did play though, and he played 90 minutes for Wycombe Wanderers, and Neil Harris has said that his future will be discussed in January. So what I will say to that is, how do you guys actually feel about Paris? Should he stay or should he go? In my personal opinion, I'd say that he should probably leave, as he isn't going to get game time at Millwall and he's too injury prone. He's just wasted so much time and money. He's a really nice guy and it's a real shame, but he just needs to go play somewhere else. I think League 2 really suits where he is. That injury really did hurt him. That's happened to a few players that we've had that could have been something really good. And finally, David Ford kept another clean sheet as he helped Portsmouth win 4-0, the same as Millwall did, and it was against a 9-men Mansfield Town, putting them 3 points below Doncaster and in the 3rd space. They're so close to that 3rd space now. Very, very unlucky. Portsmouth are definitely one of my favourites to go up. Millwall obviously did share the same fortune as Portsmouth, winning 4-0, and Neil Harris described it as one of their best displays under him, and I would probably agree. And now I say yes, a Bristol Rovers player did get sent off in Daniel Leadbitter, but it did maybe make us look a little bit better. But to be honest, who cares? We played like a team, we looked like a team, we played with confidence, and not to mention we played with so much togetherness, and we actually kept our first league clean sheet since the first match of the season where we beat Oldham. So there are a lot of positives. There is also another positive in a player that I've wanted to feature for a couple of weeks now. Yes, Harry Smith. He scored and assisted in that game, and he looks like a pretty good player. And it's going to be hard to take him out the team if he starts forming a great partnership with Lee Gregory, as he would. Now, that game did end 4-0. The goals were scored by Aidan O'Brien as he tapped it in after it coming back off of the keeper from a parry. Sean Williams then got the second as he stroked the ball into the bottom corner. Lee Gregory got the third as he chested down the ball before volleying it in, thanks to Harry Smith, who also laid it off to him. And Harry Smith actually got the final goal in the game as he just picked his spot pretty easily, and it looked like a very good finish from Harry Smith. And the players that assisted those goals were David Worrell, Harry Smith and Fred Odinyema, so a nice mix of players in certain areas there. We did also play another game earlier in the week, and it was against Luton Town. We won the game 3-0. The debutant Harry Smith scored twice and Fred got the other as we topped our Checkatrade group. And talking of the Checkatrade group, or Checkatrade trophy in general, we will be facing Wycombe Wanderers for the next round at the Den, so I think that could be pretty interesting. Now, I'm going to be introducing something new this week, and that is the player of the week, and it'll be pretty easy to pick out who's been our best player this week, as I'm going to go with Harry Smith. He made his debut in the Cup and the League. Within those 2 games, he got 3 goals and an assist. Not a bad start for Harry, and long may that continue. And it is that time in the podcast where we cover the Millwall news. And so let's get going and see what's happening in the news around Millwall. And so our first bit of news comes from Neil Harris saying that Millwall fans need to give Harry Smith some time to settle in. He said that because he's come from a lower league, he will not be scoring 2 goals every time he plays on the pitch. But I do have to say that he was brilliant against Luton and he got those 2 great goals. Now, Harry Smith also talked about the Luton game himself, and he said he loves the pressure of playing in a match with lots of fans, and the crowd actually makes him better as he thrives on that pressure. He also promised that he'll keep himself grounded and he hopes to get more opportunities to come his way. Paul Rooney is where the next news story comes from, and he said that Neil Harris's youth policy was the main reason he came to the Lions in the first place. He said that it's great to know that if you're a younger player and progressing well, that Neil will look at you and maybe even give you a chance to play. I played much quicker than I expected. The match against Luton was a lot quicker tempo than I'm used to playing, but 90 minutes of football is so valuable. Neil Harris will also talk to Paris Cowan-Hall about his future because he is currently on loan with Wycombe Wanderers, and if you didn't know, that loan spell ends on the 1st of January. Harris is always assessing the player's progress while they're out on loan, and he will decide whether he's going to keep him at the Den or get rid of him, as his contract does expire in the summer. And the final story is that we'll be facing Paris Cowan-Hall's current loan club, Wycombe Wanderers, on the week starting December the 5th. And it's obviously very unlikely that Paris Cowan-Hall is going to play, as Millwall is his parent club, but the match is going to be at the Den, and that's because we topped the group with 9 points that we actually get to play that tie against Wycombe Wanderers. Be pretty interesting to see how that game will go. So anyway, guys, that is all we got time for today at least. Do feel free to put your questions and opinions in the comment section for the next Talk to Wall. However, before I go, don't forget to put your score predictions for the Bolton Wanderers game in the comment section, as next week I'll be covering the game and highlighting the good and bad points. And why you're actually down there, why don't you let me know your opinions of the match and Millwall as a whole as the season progresses. So like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week for the next Talk to Wall. But until then, goodbye.